Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com. Today I wanted to share with you some of the cutest stamps from Miss Ink Stamps in their last release. This one is called Big Mugs, and look at this gnome. His little beard is falling into the coffee cup and out of it again. It cracks me up. This one here is called Coffee Gnomes, and you've got two little images here. Look at her, she's got some bunny slippers on. So cute. And then this last one here is called Pumpkin Spice Gnomes. This is a large stamp set, much larger than regular, and there are a lot of images, including the large pumpkin house, some mushrooms, and then lots of gnomes to choose from. These are so fun to color, and today I'm excited to bring to you this video where we're going to see the effects of color on two different cards using these stamps. This last one here is the Pumpkin Spice Sentiment stamp set, and it's also brand new. I love this set because you can build all kinds of sentiments, like wishing you a pumpkin spice kind of day, whatever spices your pumpkin, let's spice things up, and all kinds of things. You had me at pumpkin spice. Spice keeps me nice. I mean, so many you can build here. I hope you get the general idea, but I really have been enjoying this stamp set. So if you need a sentiment set where you can build lots of fall and pumpkin spice sentiments, this one is for you. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to start by stamping that large pumpkin house on a couple of A2 sized panels. Now these are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so they are regular size. And this is Neenah Solar White paper that I'm using today. I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring, so I'm using my favorite ink for that, which is Amalgam ink right now, and this is the black Amalgam ink. I think it's Obsidian is what it's called. And then I've also stamped a mask, and I just fussy cut that out with my little scissors here, and I'm also going to mask off the ground. I kind of cut a slope so it looks like a little snow slope, and that now we're ready to do some ink blending. So I've got some colors from Concord and Ninth. This is some of the blue colors that I'm really enjoying, and I'm just going to ink them on using this blending brush here. This is so simple to do. I just take a light hand, blend it on very, very lightly. I'm not pressing down hard at all. And I just go over it multiple times until I get the look that I'm going for. So you can go darker, you can go lighter. It just depends on how many times you brush that ink over your paper. So you can see that I have a scrap paper off to the right here, and I usually ink it up and then I dab it off on that scratch paper so I don't get some big ink splotches on my actual panel. So now I'm going to go in with some hickory smoke distress ink to kind of give this ground a snow look. And you'll notice this first one, I'm going to color up and ink up with some cool blues, some snowy colors. It's going to be very calming, I guess, is the word I want to use. And I've got some E markers here. You can see these are what I'm going to use to color up the pumpkin. I have some fall decorations in my house, and they are pumpkins that are white, mostly white, creamy colored pumpkins. And so that was my inspiration for today. I'm coloring up these pumpkins white, and all I'm doing is just adding a little bit of shading with these E markers. And now I'm going to go in with some cool grays and color up that smokestack and a few other things on this pumpkin house. As I say, I'm kind of sticking to some cool colors for this first card. And you're going to see at the end, after we color this card up, this cool snowy card, I'm going to do completely the opposite on the second. And it's really interesting to see how it changes up the feeling of your card. The second one you're going to see is definitely more bright and vibrant. I'm going in with some greens for this pumpkin stem. So these are more in the olive tones of greens. I've got YG99, YG95, and YG91. And you can kind of see my process here. I go in with the dark one, blend it out with the medium, and then blend it out even further with the lightest color. And I like to leave a lot of lights and darks. I think that adds some really great variation and makes your card pop. And as long as you do this to a couple of spots in your card, you don't have to make everything completely shine and pop. So you might notice on this card, I am coloring some things up really well, making them have lots of lights and darks, and the rest I'm coloring very simply. And that is the beautiful thing about coloring with Copics. You can make that decision. So I have a couple focal points and the rest I'm coloring so simply. For the blues, I am using some Bs in the B32, B34, and B37, I believe. And this is going to be for the door and also for the flower pot. I do go in over the flower pot a little bit later. I am not leaving all of the coloring in this video today. I am just going to show you how I colored up this first background. I've already colored up the gnome, as you probably saw. I colored him up in some Christmas colors, reds and greens, traditional, and he's going to be popped up on the front of this card. And on the other one, I also colored the gnome up in reds and greens. And so you're going to see how I colored a lot of things the same and just changed a couple of elements, and we get a completely different feeling. I'm just finishing up the door here, blending out those darks with this lightest blue, the B34, I believe. And on that B37, you might notice that I removed both the caps. That's because that Copic marker hates me. Every time I color with it, it likes to leave a big blob on my panel. So I remove both of the caps, so hopefully I don't get any of that as a problem in my coloring. Thankfully today I didn't have a problem with it because I removed both ends of the caps. So if you have a problem with that with any of your Copic markers, try removing both ends of your caps. See if that works for you. I'm going in with some neutral grays now for the roof, and this is super simple, just coloring up the dark parts with the N7, and then I'll bring in some lighter neutral grays to color the rest of it. So easy to do. I really think that anybody could do this. If you have not Copic colored before, just give it a try. Try picking 3 colors, blending them out, and leave some lights and leave some dark areas. So I'm just going to finish up this roof here with the last color. And I'm also going to use those same colors on the window pane and then also on the flower box. As I said, I went over that because as I put the gnome in front, I had colored up the mug in that same blue tones, and it detracted from the mug. So I wanted the window box to be a little bit darker. So here you can see that I am coloring up the staircase, and I'm just using some browns, a little bit of a darker brown with the E47, and then going in with the lighter brown here just to blend it out. And look how cute this gnome house is coming together. I really think it's super cute. So that last lightest brown is the E71, and there we'll just finish that up. So look how cute this gnome is looking with his house. And now I'll just stamp on the sentiment. I am doing one word at a time because I wanted to put them closer together than you could with the space around those stamps. So I stamped the pumpkin in black ink, and then I clear heat embossed that one, and then I put the spice on and I clear heat embossed that over the black ink as well. When you use VersaFine Onyx black ink, it does stay wet a little bit longer, so you can clear heat emboss. And then your sentiment will not smear because it will be embossed under there. So I added the It's A and then pumpkin spice kind of day. And so there is our sentiment. Now I'm going to add some dots for all the snow. It's hard to see in the video here. I add some small dots at first, and then I go in and add some even larger dots. And I even add them on the roof and the pumpkin and the gnome. Don't forget to add it on everything, because when you're making snow, snow gets all over everything, right? And so don't forget the house and the gnome and everything. I'm going to pop up the gnome with 2 layers of foam tape so he really pops up off this card, and I think he looks super cute. He's got his little cup of coffee there, or hot cocoa. This is from Coffee Gnomes, the Coffee Gnome stamp set, this little guy. And now to finish it off, I'm going to add some white Nuvo drops for some snow that is like 3D. This is going to dry dimensional, and it really has a neat feeling to it. So I'm adding a few here and there in addition to the white dots, and look at that. I also added some white Nuvo drops to the edges of the stairs, so you can see there's a little bit of snow on the sides of the stairs. It's so cute. And now I'm going to go in and do some coloring on this second card. Now, if you remember, the second card is going to be completely different. We're going to do warm colors on this one, and I want you to see how different everything feels, completely different with the colors. Even though I color some of the same colors with the pumpkin house and the gnome himself, we're going to start off with some yellows here, and then we're going to blend those out into pinks, and then a cranberry red at the top. And I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this because it's the same thing that I did before with the other ink blending. Here's a look at that different background with the yellows and the pinks, and then I did a little bit of green towards the bottom for the ground. You can faintly see it on the video, and I colored this first part exactly the same. The stem, the pumpkin, the smokestack, the roof, and now the door is going to be red. So I have a few shades of red here. I am using some of my favorite Christmas reds actually today, and that's R17, R29, and then the lightest is R22. So I'll do the exact same thing that I did for the blue door, only this one's red. And then I thought it would be super fun to create rainbow stairs. I was thinking about the Creative House. I can't remember the name of it, but that house has rainbow stairs. So we've got a red door, then orange, yellow, green, blue, and then the purple is on the flower box. So look at the differences in the colors here. On this gnome, I used some Nuvo drops as well, so that's dimensional. And then on this blue card, here's the finished card. Look how calm this one is. The red one definitely has more vibrancy and a lot more, I don't know, it's a lot more warm as well. I also thought after I finish this and I'm looking at this, it would be really cute to stamp some of those mini leaves in the stamp set that's in the larger gnome stamp set. With this gnome, the Pumpkin Spice Gnomes, there are some small leaves and they'd be super cute to stamp on the background as well. So there's a look at our 2 cards with the color variation and the difference in feeling. I hope this gave you some ideas of some things to do for your cards. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.